Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Red Hood Resurrection. So I'll preface a lot of the things you're probably expecting from this live are not happening. This is just a general live. I'm hopping on here. David's going to be hopping on here as well. So just wanted to, talk about the series, talk about what's happening. We are going to be filming here in about 2 weeks from tomorrow. We start filming the next vlog, which is just insane. So I am very excited to get on this next block. I've started getting my gear around, and preparing, and surpassing the goal. I've been able to purchase some gear, to make the final episode just even way more cinematic, taking it all up to the next level, and I'm super excited to use that for that and our little mini spin-off episode that will be coming as well between episodes 5 and 6. Huh? Yeah. There's been speculation from people, but there will be a Robin spinoff, a 1-episode spinoff on the origin of Tim Drake as Robin. I am beyond excited. I've been testing it out and stuff, and just it's absolutely gorgeous. And so it's gonna be beautiful. So it's gonna be, I'm shooting it. It's very interesting because it's gonna take a little bit more care in the way I shoot, because these lenses shoot very, very wide, not in terms of like wide, but like wide. And so whatever, but I'm shooting it in a format so I'll have a guide on my monitor to shoot for 9:16, which is what you see here, to do a vertical version to play on TikTok and all that stuff. And then I'll also edit, a regular version for YouTube as well. I'm really excited. It's gonna hit pretty hard. You're gonna see some insane Robin and the Gotham skyline shots, and yeah, it's great. I feel very bonita. I'll upload the live eventually. I have them saved. I was having some trouble getting it to process on YouTube for some reason. Out of all the gear, what's my favorite? I mean, these obviously. I mean, I love my camera. My camera's incredible. But these lenses that I just got here, I'll hold them up. Let me just. No, we're not shooting in any city. We don't have the budget for that. I live in like a city, so I'm getting creative with what's around me and also expanding with visual effects. So I've done a lot of location scouting to make that possible. So like this is the rig for what I'm going to be filming. This is one of the new lenses I got. Gorgeous anamorphics. I got a set of 3. So thank you all for donating, because now the finale is going to look even more beautiful. I know, I need Eric in here. I would bring him in the live if you were on right now. Eric, are you free? Do you want to join this live right now? I didn't know that, can one of the moderators add or send him an invite? Wait, I got it. Hang on. I think I got it.
Hello.
Hello. That's my boy Eric.
Hey, I don't think I have a camera still, or it won't let me use a camera.
They just know that face card is too lethal.
Wait. Hang on. There it is.
Oh.
It wouldn't let me do it until just now. So I don't know if I just have enough followers, or maybe the old guy just figured out how to do it.
Listen, everybody, there's almost 400 of you in here. Eric here. I don't even know if that's accurate to where it's showing on the screen. Has helping with our stunts.
You're right there.
And we're gearing up for the biggest fight scene by far in the series. Eric's bringing out the big boy mats for the stunts we're about to do, so I'm so excited. It is gonna be epic. I'm excited to see. I know you guys have been talking more about what else you plan to integrate into this. Did you guys meet up? Has that happened?
Yeah, we met it. So we've talked a little bit, but we've met up once, and we spent about an hour and a half just straight through. We had one of my mats out, and I did some break falling with him. He's done a little bit of that, but it's something I'm really interested in doing with him and anybody else in the Goon Squad or involved in the action at all. If they haven't had training, some of the actors have trainers and they've been through this, or they've had tumbling. But it's really important when you're training to know how to fall well, because if we can throw each other and actually fall, the action will just look that much better and that much more realistic. Yeah. And that's the goal. Like, the fighting can't be completely realistic because people have superpowers, but
sure,
the pain, the impacts, the strikes, and the hitting the ground should be realistic. We should actually be hitting the ground, and a lot of times we are. Like Christian, like your boy, not my son, but your friend Christian.
Yeah.
Episode 2, I got to talk about that recently. How he got actually slammed to the ground.
Yeah,
a few times. He was a champ.
Yeah, I'm going through and I've been editing, because I had like the behind the scenes and stuff. We didn't get that much. We're gonna have more of that moving forward, but I have like all the footage from as I was rolling on camera, so all the like moments before rolling and all the stuff, and all the like behind the scenes I've recorded with my actual camera. And so I've been going through from the first episode, which literally Jackson is so funny. Like, he just had me like dying laughing to myself here, because the improv he would do to David, and just David breaking in the middle of like the intense like torture scene. So funny. But I'm going through that, and it was fun to like see. It was great because we like, I mean, for all the other stuff we've rehearsed and whatnot, but it was kind of as you go. But we did actually, like, before getting in costumes and everything, rehearse for the warehouse stuff, which I don't even really remember doing that. But it's just it all is like so baby compared to what's about to go down. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to show the limits of these characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it, and so far everybody's really given heart and soul to this. So I can't wait to see what Zach does, and and everybody else involved in what's coming up. See how they really push it and what they can do, and I'll
Yeah.
be there for it, man. I'm 100% of the way. I can't wait. I can't wait. And so I answered a question to my best knowledge recently about how the action progressed and the fighting progressed. It's like, well, clearly this character was going through some training, and as he got more experience, he got better at combat. And but I said also from what I observed, and I didn't I took part in the action towards the very very end of episode one, and then intermittently episode two, but we just kind of got better at it as a group. What we were doing, like,
Yeah.
I got a feel for what David could do, what his capabilities are, and there's really not much going back. And
Yeah.
so doing that, and
Yeah.
we just
Well,
got better at choreographing. So.
yeah, and the like I think it's worked in our favor, and now it's time to like lock in, because I think we were able to get away with the what we could accomplish. Like in episode 1, we had you to show some finesse, and that's great because they're even literally in the like blooper reel. There's a part where you did something, and David's like, he's like, oh shit, Jason's got a lot to learn. And it's just like, yeah, like he he obviously was trained by like Batman and stuff, but now he's getting full. There's nothing else but training with the league, and so there's that. So he's obviously better, and it's fun too because I get to show eventually that a lot of people are like, how does Joker even have a chance? It's kind of like that. He's just always like on that adrenaline high of like craze, that he just is like having fun with it. So he doesn't care. So he just tries crazy stuff that works in his favor. So I'm excited to show that. But like, so episode 1,
Yeah.
when David like was less in his element, there's that. And then episode 2, we have the henchmen who like aren't keeping up quite as much with Jason, and that's great because David was more in the rhythm of that, and that works because they're henchmen. I mean, they've got guns, but when the dude is running at them and
Yeah.
the guns don't matter, they're kind of cooked. And then
Yeah.
I mean, same for episode 3, and then we kind of show an imbalance, and we throw Jason off and in some ways with the tech like that Tim has and stuff. And even like Nick, obviously, like Nightwing is super, has so much agility and stuff, so I was able to work around that by throwing him off with the reveal of Jason. So it's worked in our favor so far to not have everybody just be like wicked good at fighting, but now
Yeah.
we've got no wiggle room when we've got what's coming up in the next episode.
Yeah. I can't wait.
But it's
I'm
gonna
so
be great.
excited.
It's gonna be
Uh,
incredible. I already
Yeah.
know no
And
matter what
so
we throw in there, it's gonna be awesome.
it is. It is. And what I told Zach too. So someone asked me, I wanted to make you jealous and jumped on my very first live with Nita, and that was a
I'm
blast.
jealous.
And yeah, so I think she said she was going to text you in the moment too, just to rub it in. So but no, I honestly just couldn't get. I didn't have enough follows at the time. So, but because of you guys and this this fan base. Thank you, everybody. By the
Yeah.
way, I have
Wow,
like a
we've got
billion.
650 people in here. Everyone, go follow Eric. Eric is the goat,
Well,
and
I
a lot of what you're about to see, the peak you're about to see in the next episode, will be immensely from his help. So if you are excited for the next episode, go follow him right now.
Lou, Eric and I are practically best friends. That's right, pal. That's right. I've gotten to know a lot of these people through their comedy, and because I mean, that's mostly how I communicate.
It's great.
And so, just the weird sense of humor is that I've really gotten kind of closest to some of these people. It's amazing. But anyway, so somebody asked me one of the biggest challenges, and I said, um, people being in different states and all over. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, when I was training with Zach, we do some stuff, and I'm like, I think this would work. He's like, yeah, that's cool. What's David gonna do? Like, is he on this side doing this? I'm like, I don't know. So
Yeah,
I was
we'll
like,
figure it out.
why don't we just go through a bunch of stuff and do this and all this stuff? Sword this way, swords that way, gun in a hand, all this different stuff and scenarios and moves and things. And like, if we go and you and David fight, because that's how our scenes go, is the two characters will fight each other a little bit and we'll
Yeah.
figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
Which is how a lot of self-defense is learned and taught is in real time. So it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So he's learning a bunch of basic stuff and then some more advanced stuff on his own. I gave him some things to work on. He has great ideas too. He's like meant for this, and he's just gonna be working on that. And then when he and David get together, it's probably gonna all change. But at least he'll know how to do some of the stuff and piece it together.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really fun to kind of flip that, and I think the constant, well, not constant, but the power shift that we're gonna see several times throughout the fight is gonna be awesome. And I just,
Yeah,
the fact that we're able to introduce a lot of these characters into like live action. I mean, like,
yeah,
pre-existing in live action in some instances, but like just the way it's about to be so epic, guys. I'm really excited, yeah, to get in the space, because I know like we're gonna go in like kind of knowing at like once rehearsed and stuff, but then getting in there and just like seeing the environment too. I'm like really excited to play with that. I was testing and playing around with, I've got like a portable haze thing, and there's, it will adhere to the clothing and stuff for some things. So that walk in that moment with just it pouring out, it's gonna be crazy.
that's sick. That's so sweet. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it because uh, I'm I'm such a fan of the series because like I'm there, I'm watching all this stuff happen. I'm proud to be involved, but it looks cool when I'm there. But then when I watch the episode and how you've edited together and how everyone's actually acting and how it all comes together, it just blows my mind. It
Yeah.
blows my mind. I didn't come into this, and I've got to tell several of these guys who ask, like, I didn't know really who Red Hood was, truly was, until I met you. And it was complete happenstance that I met you, and my involvement was really hilarious.
Have you shared that?
I
Like,
shared it with, I think I shared it on Nita's live stream. Yeah. Do you remember?
yeah. Yeah, Eric and I were next door neighbors. Like, we shared a wall in our apartment complex. And literally like the week before filming, yeah,
It
Eric's
was my
son
youngest.
was just like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?" Because I was always outside like making props or something. I don't even remember what exactly I was doing that day. I don't
You
know.
had a ton of equipment on your porch, and
Okay.
you were either like supplying a regime, or you were, you're doing something very techy, and we couldn't figure it out. And
Yeah.
I was just, I would give people their space. Hey, how you doing? My son is not that person. He goes right up to your porch. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are those things? What's in the cases? What are you doing? Like, is this your job? What's happening?" Just a million questions.
Yeah.
And so after Noah shared what he was doing with all this equipment, what he's about to do, he's like, "Hey, my dad's into martial arts and he's done movies, which I haven't done movies, but I've been in martial arts all my life, and I have helped some friends who are in film school make their ridiculous um, slapstick short films have really good looking fights and more
Yeah.
realistic stuff. Taught a little bit of like gunplay stuff and a little bit of stunt fighting, and it was so much fun. I was like, "Oh man, this would be great to do just forever.
Yeah.
I don't even have to get paid for this. It's a blast." And so, yeah, and so that's kind of how I introduced. I was like, I have just a little bit of experience. If nothing else, I can show some of your guys martial arts and some of the things that I know, and it could look good on screen. Who knows? I can even be a bad guy in a mask, and you can kill me off. And he
Yeah.
did, like four
We did.
times.
I know it's like crazy. Someone said it all like happened, and like I can't even describe to you how many things have just like worked out for this. Like it's honestly to the point now where I'm just like I just know it'll work out. Like a lot of stress has been I've like got so many things, on my plate, but a lot of stuff has just come down to like I, I know it's gonna work out at this point. A lot of it in terms of like location or like points of contact for things because like that happened in the first episode with you and I was like, oh, that's sick. And so like that and pretty much every like I have yet to have the only location I will have had to pay for is the final building that we will use for the finale. And it's like gonna be so cheap to use. And so it's crazy though. Like, normally the locations we've had have been incredible.
Yeah.
And just like getting gifted that is crazy.
Even the first episode too that we shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was a little bit more stressful. I had access to the beginning fight place, which was downtown. I got permission to film there from people at the building. I literally went like building to building, trying to figure out who was the point of contact for it to make sure I could film there. And then the location where Joker and Jason are, that was a friend's space. And so used that. And apparently at the last minute, they were gonna have to do elevator maintenance, and it was so loud when we were trying to film. And then I guess they like got there, and the elevator didn't actually need the maintenance, so they dipped. So that was incredible.
Wow.
And then episode 2, like the warehouse location, that was a family friend's business that he just was like, yeah, go ahead and film there, do whatever you want with the space, which is awesome. Oh, also episode 2, Jason's apartment, a motel just let us film there for free. I was gonna rent the room obviously, but just kind of told them what they're doing. They let us just use it for free, which is awesome, especially because we had very low budget for those episodes. And then episode 3, the office building, I was originally gonna have to pay just like $150 rental fee, which is also nothing, but he just waived it and was like, it's fine, just use it. And then the studio, I did a work trade for that, so I provided my video services in exchange for having the studio for a day. And then it's just like everything's worked out. I was so stressed about the office building. I could not find an office building. The original one I thought I had fell through, and then I was looking, and that one just worked out. This next one, I was stressed about finding another warehouse. That one worked out. They were like, no, you're good to use it. Like, no questions asked. You're good to use it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I felt very lucky that we've been able to pull off these locations considering like where we're shooting, where it's not a city.
Yeah.
And we're able to, make it look like that.
You know what I didn't consider is trying to apply a trade in lieu of use of a space for a set, and I could do that. They'd be like, "Hey, listen, I can't pay you per se, but I can pretend to get beat up on your front lawn real good.
Yeah.
You look like a total champ."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
that, and I get really good hugs. So, I could probably score us some good spaces.
Yeah. It kind of works out that it's like a smaller area because people are just like, oh, cool, that sounds awesome. Whereas like, in a city, they would probably be like, I'm going to charge you for this.
Yeah.
But,
well, the big thing, because some projects I helped with before a challenge, and I don't know if I know that you talked about the entry to the building in episode 3. You just kind of had to go fast.
Yeah.
But I helped somebody do a gas station robbery scene in town, and we talked to the chief of police, and he was like, cool with it. You just need to absolutely block off the parking lot, put signs everywhere, because this is a constitutional carry state, and everybody's packing, and you don't want somebody thinking something's going down and they go in and try to save the day with a real gun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely
something. I mean, do you remember when the cop pulled up on us?
Yes,
Yeah.
when we were down doing episode, was it 1? It was 1.
It was episode 1. So we had filmed. We had just filmed the Lazarus Pit stuff, and all this is we talk about it in the bloopers. It's so funny.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and because I was like stressed, because also it was like a park, kind of like the trail that led to a park, but it was like behind stuff, and well, we were all prepping for this.
Hospital.
Yeah, it was behind like a hospital that led to this park, but I mean, it was just like nature that we needed. There was originally a different spot that I wanted to use, but I went there for the sake of like if we needed to get out quick. I didn't want to go all the way down there. But we had like the torches and stuff, and that wasn't even the issue though. We pulled up and everybody's in the like Black League.
We're dressed like ninjas.
Full garbs, and there's like the prop swords and the sticks and all this stuff. And
I brought some self-made clubs with me and stuff.
But we're all just standing there, and this cop pulls up, and he's like, what's going on? I guess he was like looking for something else, but he like pulled up direct to us, and I was like, oh shoot. And he was just like, oh, okay, well, next time just like call ahead and like let us know. And it's like, oh cool. Like, I mean, he was super chill about it, and I'm really glad that he was chill about it.
We'd gotten really late, and we were all just kind of really wanting to be able to finish, and I could tell you were stressed a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, man, I hope we get this off and
Yeah.
get these. It's almost done.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't know what else you had done the whole time. So again, I'd never. I'm telling on myself in the wrong room, but I've never seen The Killing Joke or read that portion of the comics. There's so much I don't know, and so I don't know anything going on. I didn't know what a Lazarus Pit was. I'm like, well, we're dressed like ninjas, and we're gonna do some fighting, so I can get on board with that. And
yeah, I mean, I could not imagine like what episode 1 would have like looked without you being in there, because like that whole part with the sticks, like that's that is the training sequence aside from David's thing with the other guys, but like that is like really shows like the finesse of the league. And so I'm so, and also we needed a dude to get his head chopped, so it was perfect.
I'd never died like that in a scene before, so it was kind of cool. My parents love that too when they got to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's great. And then, yeah, just you've gotten to die so many times on there. It's been great.
Yes, they're worried about my hair. Actually, when he cut my head off, the hair stayed intact, so you guys can stop worrying.
Yeah.
I think my hair has a bigger following than I actually do.
It's understandable, honestly.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, I get it. I get it.
all of these fans are just like in it for the looks, I think. So,
No, no, I'm not a piece of meat though,
yeah.
guys.
Come
I
on,
mean,
guys. For
ridiculous.
real. For real. No, but yeah, I'm excited. I will have to I'm like almost done. I'm at the very last stretch of essentially I'm just writing the end of the final fight and the finale.
Okay.
Everything else is written. And I have some really awesome ideas. I'm excited to see how it gets translated. And when we're here filming it in like 2 weeks or whatever, I'll have to show you and like let you guys read through because it's the fight dynamics and that are awesome. And it's just gonna be
Good.
so many movies. We're gonna have to be locked in for that or like have all the actors locked in. It'll probably be like for the most part, it's more henchman beat down in a lot of ways. But then when things get serious, they're gonna have to get
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah,
So
I'm ready for it. I have a million ideas. I'll be
yeah,
sitting in my living room or at work in my office, and I'll just be like, "This would be really cool." And I reached out to Stody. I'm like, "Dude, we got to get together and just go through some goon fight stuff because I don't want to forget it, and I want to make sure it looks cool.
yeah,
And I want to try some of this stuff. You never know. I mean, it looks cool in my head, but like actually doing it on somebody. I mean, I have some great ideas.
yeah, yeah. It's so fun too because I think also like once we read it, there will be. I just know everybody's gears are gonna get turning. Because David, will shoot me a text at random intervals and be like, "Yo, this would be so sick if we included this." Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited too because someone posted that they like did this composition for um, like Jason Todd, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" So I reached out, and it's not definite yet, but I think we're gonna have some custom compositions for the final fights. And so once it's edited, I will have essentially a theme for the character in episode 5. Um,
Nice.
and I kind of like described the vibe that I wanted through like other
Yeah.
references. I am beyond stoked if that
Yeah.
happens. It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, I have a lot of. I sent you some of the songs I thought just sounded like a bad guy song. You
Yeah.
know.
No, literally like
And,
that. We need to like. I'm gonna bring a speaker so we can like blast that stuff. I am
well, it's
so
so
I
well.
operate
Yeah.
so heavily on scores to think like I will just sit and listen to like the Arkham games scores or just like literally like I was listening to like Batman the Animated Series ambient sounds and just like I thrive off that. I feel like my creative gears get turning so much when I'm listening to that. I will go on every time I drive for the series, the like 2 hours there and back. That's all I listen to, just to like
Yeah.
get in the headspace and then like kind of like deconstruct what we did when I filmed. Um,
Good move.
and so I think if we're blasting like those kind of vibes while we're rehearsing
Yeah.
or even filming, the first half of the fight we won't have dialogue or
Yeah.
anything, and all the sound effects will be done after. So we can just
Mm.
blast that and be locked in.
That's good. And that's going to be good for Zach too because their emotional intent is a real thing, and when you're fighting, and you through body language you can kind of tell intentions. If you've ever wrestled someone who was like kind of fed up with playing and wanted to just hurt you, or just kind of like play box with someone who is kind of getting upset, their whole body language changes. So if he's in just this sadistic headspace, he's gonna the action is gonna communicate that his body language and what he does. His devastation is kind of like the key word I'm trying to keep in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be great. I think that intensity, yeah, is only going to amp up as he gets more irritated and eager to get out of the suit.
Yeah.
um, but because, dude, it is so hot. When I put it on for the promo, dude, I wasn't even doing anything and I was drenched in sweat. I'm like, this poor guy, we're going to have to get buckets of water for him. And I have like mini fans that I'll keep on him. But obviously, like, we can take breaks and stuff. I mean, we have that for the whole day, so
I'll bring a fan or two also.
Yeah. It's gonna be great though.
Cold water.
Yeah, I think I have it kind of like broken up into blocks too. So it'll be like the first part before, like, you know, when it's kind of, it'll be like the dialogue, and then the first thing before it breaks out into the kind of one-on-one. So I'm like, we'll like break between obviously all the sections, and
yeah. Oh, I'm excited. So I reached out. We're trying to schedule a second round of training. I just kind of want to see where he's at with some basic strides, blocks, and moves and stuff like that, and then see how comfortable he is with some other moves. Because the same with like David would be like, "Hey Eric, what would you do here? Come up with something." Well, a lot of what I would do, I'm a little guy and I'm really quick, and I'm not big and strong like David is, so I fight a lot different. So what I would do would be completely different than what his character would do.
Sure.
And so trying to transfer that to a guy who's twice my size, literally right now. It's twice my size.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I knew he was he's like, I gotta bulk up for this. So I'm
He's
so
a big
excited.
guy anyway. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. And like, I'm like, I think it already looked. I mean, I had the muscle suit on when I did the promo. Not that you can really tell because it's so dark, but I'm like, with that, it looks great. So like, putting on actual muscle on top of that, like, he's gonna look crazy.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. I think the edits have been awesome. I think the edits from this next episode are going to be like a different level, because the shots that will be there, it's going to look more gorgeous cinematically, like cuz I got these like new lenses and stuff, so it's going to be incredible. Okay. I'm going for super dramatic lighting for it. And then the, like, just in general, like, the things that happen and the fight things that are going to happen. I mean, you can't make incredible edits. Like, it's going to be like peak combat. Actually, I think I'm trying to recall. I don't think in live action we will have seen a fight to this degree before from these characters.
Yeah, there's not much out there, because I was looking up a lot of videos a few months ago, just trying to figure out, because I know there's going to be different renditions of how he fights super fast, really big and powerful.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find a trend. What stands out the most is iconically how he fights, and there's just nothing. There's a couple really cool video game clips.
Yeah.
And there some cartoon stuff, and then comic stills.
Yeah. I would say, like, in terms of like the best what we've gotten has been from Arrow. but even then, like, it is not. I think in Arrow, it's more of like he kind of like commands that respect. Like, obviously, he's military and
Mm.
is good. Like, he can hold his own, and there's some sick fight scenes in there, but nothing to like the degree of like going and going and going like we're gonna have of like we see these two very capable, trained people just
Yeah.
absolutely going at it for 5 minutes.
Yeah. We were both very powerful.
Yeah.
Ah,
I
yeah.
know.
It's like,
I'm really excited. I have it on my I need to get list. Some rope because I have the harness, but the rope it came with is like 4 feet, and so I don't know if that's gonna be enough to do what we're wanting to do. So
yeah.
I'm gonna get some bigger. Whoa!
Is that you?
No, that's somebody gifted something.
Oh. I still don't know how TikTok works. I'm looking at a bunch of tiny screens that say request everywhere, and I don't know how to change that. That's okay.
Oh, that's probably that. Here, let me give you your time to shine.
Oh, I don't need that.
I need that.
You're a
Uh,
sweetheart. You know that?
there is not an exact release date. We haven't filmed yet. And there's a lot of elements that it will be nowhere near as visual effects demanding, but there's going to be a lot of sound design that I will have to do. Whoa, Eric with the hat.
I feel
Hey,
bonita.
don't hide that head. Come on, guys.
Yeah, what are you doing? It's like the only thing I'm known for.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious. I think we'll probably have to. I mean, obviously, I would love to rehearse the polls when we're doing
Yeah.
a rehearsal, but we'll have to figure out. I actually don't know how to. All of the text on the instructions for the harness is in Mandarin, so we're gonna just have to figure it out because I don't. I would love to say I know how to read that, but I don't. So I think it'll be. I have
depending
the reference. What's that?
depending on what it is, so I've worked around a lot of techs who've done flights and stuff.
Yeah,
cable,
it's
cable flights, and I mean, if we need anybody else to jump in there and just lend a hand that
yeah,
way, I'm sure I can get some people.
yeah. I think we'll be. So Christian's gonna be there
Yep,
for filming.
yep.
Okay.
That's my second oldest child, by the
Yeah.
way. Quite proud of him. He's the one that got impaled with a crowbar.
Yeah. Man,
Uh,
you and your family just really know how to die on screen. It's great.
yeah, yeah, we die, but you know what's important about dying is you get right back up and you do it again.
Yeah, it's great.
Mhm.
No, I absolutely love. I haven't come across it when editing the bloopers, but um, the the that moment, just like doing that, just where he literally is standing on a chair or a
Yeah,
ladder. I don't remember exactly what it was, but just like
yeah.
panning with the camera as he just stands up. It's so simple,
Mhm.
but it looks so
Yeah,
good, and just
it
like the
looks
blood
so good.
dripping out, just and the sound
Yeah.
effects. Dude, I love sound design.
I was there, so I saw the whole thing live, so it was okay. My family saw it. Oh, wow.
Whoa,
I don't care
whoa.
what you say. That's what I need in my life for real. That
Oh
that is
man.
the best thing that's happened to me since I got to be in a YouTube series with hair, episode 2, baby. I had hair in that one.
Yeah, those curls looked great.
They look great. Yeah. It wasn't too wild at all. It was very shaped my face. But I so my family saw episode 2, And
Mm-hmm.
when Christian got killed with a crowbar, they had a hard time with
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
was like, I was there. This is how it happened. This is what it really looked like. It's
Yeah.
okay. But they were just like,
That's good.
yeah,
That's a. It's always interesting because I plan out like the majority of the stuff. I mean, granted, when we're figuring out the fight scene, I don't know. Like basically, all I knew for the warehouse scene was like, that was gonna happen. He was gonna do a sword throw. He was gonna tackle a dude. I knew the location, so I knew like spatially where general things would happen. But then he, like when we figure out all the details,
yeah,
that doesn't happen. So I can't plan those out, but I knew that like the impale was going to go down. And so it's crazy. Like it's always scary. Like, okay, here's what's going to happen. And anything that's like technical and not just like straight shooting, I'm always like, okay, let's just
yeah.
make sure we can pull this off and make it look good. I,
Yeah, was that okay? Was that you or David that came up with the magazine eject and throat strike with the AR, and then they threw it and hit Christian with it? Because that was sick. That was ridiculous. I had nothing to do with that.
I, I don't remember exactly. I have like,
He carried the
yeah,
assault rifle,
yeah.
popped the magazine, hit him in the throat, and then threw it and hit Christian in the face. It was great.
Yeah, because
Beautiful.
I want to say, I don't remember which of us did it, but that was I think it was once we knew how many people we had and like what weapons we had. I think that was a thing that was figured out on the day of, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this dude's got a rifle. It would be sick if. I feel like I'm remembering. It's just like we were thinking, and I was like, bro, what if you took out. Wait. I don't know. I really don't remember. Maybe it was discussed ahead of time. It was, yeah, either David or I on set or
That's still one of my
there.
favorite. That and him and Josh tying up. That was so cool. Like just like knowing the history there between him and his
Yeah.
stepdad.
Yeah.
Uh, I love so much that they got to pull that fight scene off. It was so cool.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy.
Josh is just a wonderful man too. I love that guy.
Yeah. I
He's
love,
scary looking too.
yeah,
But he's
like I would not want to
he's
mess with him,
scary
especially when
looking.
he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, tatted and he's got like the
yeah,
rings. I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
that dude is menacing.
yeah,
But he's just like such a teddy bear.
yeah.
uh, no, it was so cool. Like re-seeing too. Like I was rolling the whole time. So the part where he slams him into the wood and then picks him up and throws him onto the van, that was just one take. Um,
Yeah.
and so seeing like talk through where it's just like Dave was like, okay, yeah, just grab my vest, just push me here, and then we like flew in, I don't know, a chair or some of those mats or something to have David step up on so he could like jump, and then Josh literally just picks him up and
Yeah.
slams him onto the van, and that was one
Yeah.
take. So that was sorry everyone.
You're, I like that look. Is that a mustache? Is that?
Yeah, it's a new thing I'm
Yeah.
trying.
I like it. Go with it, man.
My favorite blooper so far, you'll see. I think it's by. It's the stuff with Jackson is so good.
Yeah.
As Joker, like the moment where I stopped the recording right after, so my reaction wasn't stopped. But David and I were like, oh, because the part in episode 1 where he goes, he like just
Yeah.
improved, and I did not expect that at all. And so it's just like that happens, and I'm like, the recording stops as soon as I'm like, oh my god, because it would just caught me off so much,
Yeah.
and it's just brilliant. But then there was another. I forgot all this stuff happened because it was we shot this like April of 2023, so like close to over 2 years ago, and so I'm like forgot all these conversations. But yeah, there's a part where Jackson's just like he would say all this crazy stuff but in character, and like yeah, just so funny. Like the chains fell off the chair, And he's like, "Oh, hang on, Jason, would you mind helping me out here?" Just like stuff like that, or the water, the gas can, like we couldn't figure out how to open it, and so he's just like, "How the hell do you open this?"
Did you get all that on
It's
camera?
all rolling. Yeah, and then there's a part where
Yeah.
he says this stuff, and then
Yeah,
David's
we-
just like, "Do you talk to Harley like this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That's really toxic, man." And he's just like, "I like to rile her up." It's just like so funny. He was so locked into that character. I am so excited to
So
bring
what
it back.
happens for you in your seat more often when you're filming and there's ad libs? Because I've seen Johan in action. I didn't get to meet Jackson in person, but I've met Johan.
You will,
And that guy,
and boy, you're in for a treat.
most of the funny stuff he says in the series, he said probably wasn't written right. So how much do you? What happens more often when you're filming that you have to stop and go, okay, let's shoot that again because they're going off script or it didn't really work, or
Yeah.
you just let it go and just watch them for a minute?
Yeah, so this was actually a thing that pivoted. So in when we filmed episode 2, and we also filmed all the apartment scene stuff, it was actually very, very difficult to edit the apartment scene with them because they were improving and just like adding stuff, which in itself is like fine. I would often like redo, and I'll circle back because I changed that filming moving forward. But like ad libbing would often result, at least for this scene, in the placement of these important like lines that needed to get said would be like kind of thrown in different ways. So I had to like jump. Oh, hey.
What's up, guys?
Hey. So I had to like jump
Hey,
around.
Say that again.
He's driving. He's driving.
I'm not driving. My lady's driving. But we're heading home right now, so I figured I would hop on.
Yes. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
But so then moving forward in the next one, I was like, okay, we're gonna start and we're gonna get the stuff that's necessary and like how it is first, and then we can go from there, just to make sure, because there are so many like great things that happen, like the whole Johan like laughing in the part where he's just like, I know, right? So annoying, but it's like great on my end or whatever. Like that was improv and stuff too. And so it's always great. But it's also always great to have the like actual stuff. So, so that way, like when those moments, because often there is a lot that is improvised that doesn't make it just, for keeping the integrity of the scene and like that intensity and stuff.
Absolutely.
But it's fun being able to kind of pick and choose. It gives me kind of freedom to really structure these scenes in the best way possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you're a good writer. What you've written is fantastic.
Thank you.
My brother is
True.
That's right. Some of my close friends, especially my brother, is a big movie buff, and he just binge watched every one of them. He's like, okay, it took 2 days to finish episode 1. He's a busy guy. And then he finished episode 1. He's like, I'll probably start episode 2 tomorrow. I was like, dude, just start it now. And he doesn't know much about the Red Hood story. He's like, okay, whatever. And he's like, that was amazing. I want to watch another one. And he just kept going and kept going and kept going. And he's like, I can't believe the writing and the acting on these guys. It's like, I know. I mean, just guys who just accidentally found each other, really. Well, not you. You and David, I guess, accidentally found each other, and had this dream. And then everybody else, like a friend of a friend, a neighbor, an 8-year-old introduced some of us, so it was just, it's amazing what's come out of it. But the writing is no joke. And that was all that just to say that some movie critics that are really impressed by the writing and what's going on in this series.
Yeah, it's been so fun. I feel like just like it's super cool to like be able to structure this story and like obviously put a lot of care into the writing, but then just like kind of pass it off to incredible actors and just let them like bring it home. Like just like, because there are so many things where it's just like I write it and it's like, oh, that's, you know, it's pretty good, but then just like these choices that the actors make, it's just like it makes it great. Like literally just the part where like in episode 4 too, which is just, you know, obviously emotional scene, like Nick, dude can act so well, and just like the small choices that he made in that scene, just like I feel like the subtle glances and the subtle like shifts and his micro expressions like tell so much story without saying anything. I feel like without even knowing these characters, with the few lines that are said and then just the way he conveys them, it just like you understand everything. And without like you said, you still haven't seen like Killing Joke and everything. Is that right? Bro, we got to get on that maybe we can do that on this next filming block, a little movie night.
2 weeks, let's go.
And yeah, just like, but I feel like it's all, everybody's acting is able to communicate, and it's nice knowing that I can just like trust, like I'll write this and it's like, you know, if it's not done and executed in the ways that it has been, like it would kind of miss the mark. And so having like all these actors set it up, like it's funny because it's like a lot of people have been like, when David's like, you're Batman's little bitch, people are like, oh, that's so funny. But also like it makes it perfectly, like David perfectly hit that. It's like he's a teenager right here.
Yeah.
This is how he feels he can get his point across, but also just like there's a lot of gravity into saying that. So yeah, it's
man, I can't imagine how hard it would be, like, because David pulls it off so well, and I know he's right here. Hey, pal. But I want to brag.
I just got home. I've been able to hear you guys, but we were in the car, so I muted up for background noise. Sorry about that.
We appreciate that. It's okay. We enjoy your noise. And your musk. Is that weird to say?
Yeah. It's all CGI.
It's all CGI musk. That's great. I hate Hollywood and how fake it is. I was going to say, like, I know that some of the scenes were filmed, like, pretty much right in line or in the middle of other parts of other episodes. Mm-hmm. And acting like a completely different Jason Todd before the torture and the trauma than the Jason Todd after all that. It's incredible because you're around the same guys you're seeing. That's just beyond me how you can pull that off and just be the same character 2 different ways in a short amount of time. It's just very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, first of all. I think that with Jason, it's kind of like you were saying, like, it's 2 different Jasons.
Yeah.
So you have to bring something different. But really the only thing that's genuinely changed is he gets a little bit older, so I mature the voice a little bit, and his mindset's different. He still has all the same skills. He's added to those skills. There's a statement in the Batman Lost Days, or not Batman, Red Hood Lost Days comic run, where it says he took the same training path that Batman did whenever he was training, like with the League and stuff, like same geographical route and everything. So he adds to his repertoire, but at the end of the day, like, I think the soul of a person still remains, even if it gets somewhat shattered or corrupted. So, it's like, it's 2 different characters essentially, but the same heart and soul in both sides. Yeah. So I appreciate that. It's thank you for your kind words, brother. I'm looking forward to getting back on set and seeing everybody. But it's always fun for the acting and then everything else.
It is so interesting. Sorry, you can go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just gonna say I'm no actor, man, but I am a huge movie buff. I watch a billion movies, and I'm old as dinosaur turds, so I've seen a lot more movies than you guys probably. And so I am a. If something sucks, I'm gonna tell you, and none of it has sucked so far. And even being involved at first, I was rewatching all these episodes 1 and 2 because I was just so happy to be a part of something so cool. But after 3, somewhere in 3, I started getting really attached to the characters and stories without knowing the comic books at all, just from a new guy to this. And the same thing happened for my older brother who just watched through all of them tonight. He goes, somewhere in episode 3, man, I got hooked and now I care and now I want more and I can't wait for more to come out. It was just, it all clicked. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Noah can speak on this. He's the one who wrote the episodes, you know. But from my perspective, I always tell people, like when I'm introducing somebody to the series, I'm always like, all right, so episode one is an origin story, and for the beginning, it looks like a really good fan film. And then once you get past the beginning, because of like we had a super low budget, so cosmetic stuff wasn't like Warner Bros. Or anything, right?
Yeah.
It's like then it feels like a great fan film. Episode two feels like a really great fan film, like one of the best fan films ever made, but it still feels like a fan film. But by the end of episode two, when you have that like the conversation that leads to me executing the guy that I stabbed, and then from that point on, episode three, at like from the end of episode two to episode three, it doesn't feel like a fan film for 95% of it. And then
Right.
episode four feels like a Warner Bros. Production, you
Yeah.
know? So I think like it has a lot to do with the quality, but it also has a lot to do with the content itself because you are taking more of a story arc like journey with the characters in
Yeah.
episodes three and four versus just seeing Jason whooping ass, which is
Right.
always fun, but you get to
Yeah.
connect with him. So I feel the same way. Like the deeper you get into the series, the more connected you feel. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are receiving it that way because I think it was intentional. But Noah can speak to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to backtrack really fast and comment on seeing how everybody approaches acting so differently is so fun. Like
Yeah.
Johan, it's interesting. Like David, and like correct me if I'm wrong, but based on our conversations and analyzing, David like obviously like will read the material and stuff, but then just like it's like here in the back of his head, and then the switch flips when it's time to shoot, and then it's like
Yeah.
then he's locked in, and so that's like David's approach, which I think honestly that approach, it's hard to say because there's like not necessarily a right or wrong approach, but for I feel like this character and how demanding it is, it and like the variety you get, it like works so well to approach in that way because every instance we see Jason is a little bit different. Is he cocky funny? Is he freaking a murderer?
Yeah.
Um, little hacker boy, like serious, like trying to level with somebody and like help them understand the reality of the situation, caring for his family, like all those things. And like, so I think it's like flipping and, whatever. But then like Johan is like that boy freaking studies every word and breaks it down. And, is like, will ask to break the scenes down with other people and just like he lives and breathes the scenes that he's a part of, and it works great. Like it's just like there's no writer, everybody has their own thing and it's worked out
Yeah.
great, which
What's
also
funny too
yeah.
is he and I ascribe to the same acting method. We just approach it differently. We're both Meisner guys. We both are like the principal foundation for Meisner acting is living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. It's the idea that you put everything else aside, you focus on your scene partner. All that matters is truthfully listening and responding to them. That's how you build a great scene.
Now you fill dialogue in, you learn the dialogue and the courses of the scene and everything so that you know where you want to go. But the most important thing is being present. But yeah, he's far more studious than I am. I generally, when I get a script, um, depending on how involved I am in the project, like with this one, I'm in almost everything. So, and I'm curious, so I want to see everything. But generally, I'll read all of my scenes, and then if I need extra context, then I'll read the entire script afterwards, and then I don't touch it until like literally the week of shooting. Like I will not come back to it because so if you ever read the book Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, this is one of the best pieces of acting advice that I've ever received, and it was through his book. Um, he says that his whole philosophy is built upon the idea of finding his man. Find out who your guy is, who is your character, how does he walk, how does he talk, how does he breathe, how does he think, what's most important to him. All of those things, you get those together, and then you practice living like that, like not even with the lines that are written, but just saying things in general and going through the thought process and maybe taking yourself through the thought process of the script as well, but really finding who that is and being able to capture that, then it doesn't matter what the lines are. Because as long as you have that, you can be in any scene and you know exactly how to deliver it. So that's kind of my whole approach. And Johan takes it a similar direction, but he doesn't kick things around in his head like I do. Like I don't like just like going pen to paper like that. I like just being really cerebral and staying here, which sometimes messes up my sleep schedule. But if I do it that way, I'll get overly obsessive and not be able to disconnect. So that's why I do it the way that I do. And I think the reason he does it the way that he does is because it keeps him locked in. So yeah, it is really cool watching him work, watching Nick work, watching Jacob, who's incredibly studious. But at the end of the day, you know, we got a great director and writer, so it's really easy to do what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
I'm
so cool.
I'm so excited for these final episodes. Like obviously I was super stressed about all the episode 4 stuff. But like now that we've been on set, I've been on set with everyone now that
Yeah.
you know is gonna have a key component minus you know Liz, but the like having that like you know foundation now and also like understanding how the actors operate, I think because there's a lot of complex scenes still to come and a lot of layers and depth in them, and now it's like knowing it's great because it's I think I really like that I never finished writing the finale and that I'm finishing it now because now I understand even all the actors' approach to the characters, and so I get to have that be an influence as well in the way that I'm writing the finale, because I you know now having worked with them I know that whatever I write I have full confidence that they have enough understanding of their characters and stuff like that to faithfully deliver that, which is so exciting because it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
Dude.
So it's
That final piece of dialogue that you and I were talking about with the line we're quoting from the animated movie, dude, so ready for that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be and honestly, one of the benefits of approaching acting the way that I do is I often don't feel what it feels like to be in that scene and look at the camera until I'm there, which is like so special to me. One of my favorite things about acting is like capturing those moments of magic and really like on a visceral, like physical, spiritual level, feeling the emotions you're supposed to be feeling in the scene. You
Yeah.
know? And so like one of the joys of doing it the way that I do and not like dwelling on it, like, good Lord, too much is when we get there on the day and I have a scene with Nick where I'm coming from, you know, finding out that the Joker's back out. I just witnessed Barbara's, you know, the terrible things that happened to Barbara recently before that. I'm trying to keep it together, and now I'm about to go kill him because like this wasn't supposed to happen, right? Like I get to feel that for the first time when we're there, which is so much fun, especially because it leaves room for the other actor to kind of just be themselves. But I think that we've done a good job of bringing in people like Nick and Johan and Jacob, who are absolutely true professionals and really just like lay it all on the table, and don't leave. Like I like the expression, squeeze all the juice out of the orange. There's nothing left. It's all there. That's one of the best things I think about acting is capturing those moments of magic. And Noah's writing also leads us in those directions because these characters are magic, and he understands the characters. So if you understand the characters, those those magical moments are going to happen. So, yeah.
When you
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No. I can come back, so you're all good.
When you're watching a series, especially growing up when we couldn't binge watch anything, we had to watch in between commercials and wait a week for a new episode to come out. A single season could take a year.
Yeah.
And like Twin Peaks, I remember Twin Peaks. I think it was only 2 seasons long. I'm big again. I think it's only 2 seasons long or something, but it took a couple years, and like you're just so engrossed in this and some of these other things. So the longer you sit with something with these characters, even in between, so you see an hour of this character, and then another hour, and a month goes by, you've seen 4 hours only of these characters.
Yeah.
But it's a whole month of living with them in your head, and so you get to know them and care about them. So for you guys, is it the same when you are portraying a character? The longer, so like from 3 years ago, are you so much more connected now, living with Jason Todd for so long?
I think I'm more connected to Jason now because I've read every Red Hood comic. Not that's not every comic he's been in because he's in other runs and stuff. Trying to work my way through those. But with time, I've read all of those and reread all of those. I'm currently rereading the 2016 Red Hood and the Outlaws run, which I forgot how peak it was because it was one of the first ones I read, and it's the first time revisiting it. But also, I will say, not because like what Noah was talking about, like I'm me, we're doing our whole thing, and then whenever camera's rolling, I'm Jason, And what's really cool about Jason is I have like a physical cue. So like, especially early on, my voice was a little bit higher, like up here at first. And then with time, because I talk like this when I'm playing Jason, it has naturally dropped an octave. But as soon as I do that with my voice, I'm able to find that character again. So I don't stay in it because then when it's cut, it's like, that was sick, is that awesome? So I don't like Jason stays in the back of my mind, because I'm like reading the material and I'm thinking about things we can do with the series. But I think I've gotten more connected with the character more so by just kicking ideas around in my brain, studying the source material, and kind of like as you gain more life experiences, you get more perspectives on things. So I can see things, I can connect things that have happened in my life and use those things to now look at different things with Jason a different way than I ever could before because I didn't have the experience to view it that way, Yeah. So yeah, I do think I understand the character more. Time is a big part of that. And I will say, I think one of the things that like binging has taken away from us, you see this particularly with series like Stranger Things. When all the episodes come out, like people will binge it, and then this is my favorite one. People will binge it, and then you go 2 years without it, and so it's really hot for a short amount of time, but then you don't return to it for a while, and so then it kind of dies down, and you have to step back into that, and it's a little bit weird. Yeah. Whereas with us, we've slowly but surely been like shrinking that window of time between shoots, so there's not enough time now for that thought process to go away and for the hype to die down. And especially with people making edits and stuff daily now, the material's always with me. So far more connected to him, I think, because I've been immersed in the material more frequently. And releasing the episodes as we have, I think has also allowed people to like create fan theories and really think about it. And we don't get that anymore a lot of the time with some streaming. So I really like, it's not like a true episodic in the sense that like it's coming out every week for 30 weeks in a row. But it does still kind of have that like original episodic feel where people are connected to the characters in a different way because they're constantly talking about, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next, you know? And like that's going on in my brain as well. So yeah, more connected, but not necessarily because the character stays with me, because I put that to the side once cut happens. But yeah, long-winded way to say yes.
That's okay. That's my style too, man.
Yeah, I have for sure, like, my understanding for these characters has just immensely grown. Obviously, like, from like seeking out, you know, researching more to be able to do them the most justice possible. But also just like I have just fallen deeper in love with every character for the sole fact of like learning all the intricacies of them and devoting the time. It's just like naturally, like, you know, I find total enjoyment in the like seeking out these characters, and in turn it, you know, obviously just benefits the series overall. But yeah, I think the love is there from like everyone now too. Like Nick didn't know like anything about the series, and like, you know, he did his research and stuff to learn about Nightwing. And like truthfully, like I think this is a testament to, you know, understanding the characters helps, because we're talking with Nick for like close to a year probably. And like obviously his acting was phenomenal, but just like it was missing the Nightwing element. And then after like David sent him some homework and to like study up on the character, and when he came back, the next read, just like after he had dived into the character, it was just like, all right, we're ready to cast him. So I think that also speaks for like the beauty is like while these are our own interpretations, these aren't new characters. We just get to take elements from these different interpretations, some not great, some great, and, you know, utilize them in a way that makes sense for us in the story and like everybody individually as actors. So I don't know. It's super cool.
Somebody asked a question. Let's see if I can find. Do you find yourself wanting to dive deeper into other characters the more you film?
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of just answered that, but yeah, I'm definitely like, I mean, every character that's introduced, it's like it causes me to spiral and make sure I'm doing it right. But
yeah,
no, I got a question for you. What has been, because I know you've read a lot of the material as well. What do you think has been your favorite thing to read so far, in doing your research for these characters? Because me personally, I'm still preferential to Lost Days, I think, because I just like that character arc and do away with the weird Talia stuff at the end, and the fact that they draw this 15-year-old like a 40-year-old a lot of the time. But I have also like rekindled my love for the Red Hood and the Outlaws 2016 run recently because I'm revisiting it. So what has been your favorite thing to read in preparation for everything?
I'm reading Red Hood and the Outlaws right now. I absolutely hate the mouth mask, but honestly,
are you reading the which one are you reading? The 2022?
With Roy, and yeah.
Like the first one, like 2011,
Yeah,
like
it's
right
like
after Red Hood.
2011 through what 2014 or 15 or whatever. But
Got you. Yeah, that's a
um,
great one.
and there's a lot of things I really enjoy. I don't know in terms of like I just have favorite elements. Um, and I think there's not like a favorite interpretation per se. I just think there's a lot of really good moments and a lot of things I don't particularly love in each run, but that's a given for anything. But like in this one, during the whole death of the family situation, um, Jason is like, he says like, I never viewed Bruce as a father. And I'm, at least in my head for writing this, I'm like, I think quite on the contrary, like Jason is so loyal to his family. Like this is his family that he adopted. And that's why it stings that much more, is like he was betrayed by his father by not, avenging him.
Well, and you'll see that too in the 2016 run. They show like some like flashback stuff in terms of like how the team was coming together, and they have a stint where in order to get some intel on this like mob thing, the Outlaws, particularly Jason, Bizarro, and Artemis, they work at a carnival for a little bit as like performers, and in order to like get more help, he calls Nightwing in to help him out, and so Nightwing like performs as like a clown or whatever, which is cool. But Nightwing says something like when Artemis asks like how they know each other, and Jason says, oh, we've known each other for a long time. We're practically brothers. And then Nightwing and Artemis have like a private conversation afterwards, and she's like, "You guys are both orphans, right?" And he goes, "Not really. We both have the same father." And so it is like, at least in that run, and then Jason even talks about Bruce as his father in that run as well. And so it is clear there that after a certain amount of time growing and sort of understanding like Batman's perspective more, and getting more perspective on the world and why Batman is the way he is and things like that, there you do end up having those moments. Like in that same run, there's a moment where like he's talking to Batman about like, he's like, I'm the Red Hood, I can go places you can't go as Batman. um, and they're talking about like doing it the right way and like not killing people and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this really cool moment where he's like, all right, I have one more question for you, man. And Bruce is like, what's up? And he's like, are you hungry? And he like offers him, he has like a bag of burgers, and they lean against the Batmobile and they like have these burgers together. And it's this like beautiful moment between like father and son. So I do think there's a period of time when he denied those feelings, but then with time, like kind of gaining perspective on stuff and returning more to like who he truly is on the inside, he ends up allowing himself to feel those things again. So yeah, I agree with you. I do think he sees Batman as a father figure. He sees Nightwing as a brother. He sees it as a family. And he specifically says like 6 times. So in the first few issues of that, it's like, I've never really been good at being in a family. So like he still does see them as a family. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think like Jason does feel those things, but he denies them early on.
Yeah.
Because he wants to hate Batman, but he doesn't.
Right. Yeah. So Eric, I'm curious, like based on what you've like since found out on like your own, like in regard to Red Hood, but also like knowing that you started this without any knowledge, I'm curious what aspects of, I don't know, I guess Jason or Red Hood do you find the most interesting, other than him being like a total badass, obviously?
So I love that he dances right on the line, that moral line. Um, like David said earlier about there's two different characters. There's two different Jasons, but they have the same. The heart and soul is still there, and so he is still at his heart the good guy, meaning he's trying to eradicate evil, everything, every element that might hurt anyone he cares about or could hurt someone that someone cares about because he had to suffer that. Obviously, there's vengeance and there's a revenge story there too, but uh, he dances right on that line. I'm huge into Star Wars, so like the the dark side and the light side. Um, so being able to kind of tap into that evil, because all of us have good and evil inside of us. Nobody is purely good or purely evil. All of us have the capability to be truly good and um, truly destructive. And I think what makes a real hero is uh, having the ability to be a destroyer and be this devastating force and not going there, or using it when you have to, only when you have to, and shutting it back off. And I think Jason Todd in this phase is dancing that line real well, and I think he teeters on falling off the wrong side, and it's fun to and a little tense to watch that happen. Yeah, his brothers are kind of the voice of reason, but also they're not doing enough. Clearly, like look at what has happened, and Red Hood dares to dance that line of good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that Jason, and like even though some runs are not very good, I think the ones that are good, with like any story, involve an internal conflict. And even when he gets to like that second Outlaws run during Rebirth in 2016, he still has that internal conflict of like there's a moment where he's Black Mask infects Bizarro with this uh like toxin, this technotoxin that he uses to control him. So he's like he like puts it in his brain, puts it in Bizarro's brain, and he can like control Bizarro. And Jason has a moment where he's aiming right at Black Mask's head, and he's like, "This would be so much easier. Like I could just end it right now. But I made Batman a promise. I'm not going to go that way." So then he goes this like roundabout way, like separates him from Bizarro in order to like kind of weaken that connection and stuff, and still achieves the goal.
Yeah.
But that's like a later stage Jason that still has the internal conflict, even though he's not crossing that line. So I think like we're at a phase with Jason where he still believes that the right thing to do, and even at that point, I think he still thinks the right thing to do sometimes is to put these people down. But I think the internal conflict of Jason never like ceases, even as he matures, because he has seen the darker parts of the world. He has seen that, like, it is a fact that if somebody is a murderer or like a lifelong criminal or a psychopath or whatever, if you kill them, they can't do that anymore. Like that's
Right.
true, and he's seen that. But then like later on, you get to a point where he's like, I know this is the best, most surefire way to do it, but he's also, because he does love Batman and respects him, and fears him a little bit,
Yeah.
he's willing to kind of like dance that line even more,
Yeah.
where he's like, psychologically, he's like, I should pull the trigger right now, but I'm not going to because I have a different perspective on things. So,
Yeah.
but I do like where we have him at in the series right now. It's like he's still willing to cross that line, but only with bad guys. Like he
Yeah.
intentionally misses a vital spot with Nightwing. He
Yeah.
doesn't kill Tim whenever he has the opportunity. So, and then he even lets one of the goons go whenever that guy gives him
Yeah.
the answer he's looking for. So he's just such an interesting character because there is that like internal conflict consistently. And that's one of my favorite things to play around with his character, as he's always making the decision, is it the right thing to kill this person right now?
Yeah.
And sometimes he's right and sometimes he's wrong, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, I love that as well. I'm glad that that's being received, you know, because I think it's really easy to kind of not have that subtext come through whenever it's a complicated issue like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, credit to Noah and his writing, credit to the other actors who
Definitely.
are fantastic scene partners, making my job really easy. But
Yeah.
that's what makes Jason an interesting character, is those internal conflicts that he faces. You know?
Yeah. And, you know, with any superpowered person, it's easy to be unrelatable. It could be easy
Yeah.
to be unrelatable, but what Jason Todd has gone through some horrible things, and he's seen these horrible people, and he decided to do something about it. Like that makes him relatable. Just like the popularity of the Boondock Saints. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Is
Oh,
Boondock
yeah,
Saints.
so good.
I mean, they wake up from a dream. They're like, all right, we kill mafia now. They
Yeah,
just go
yeah.
after it. Like, that's what every person has inside of them. At some point, they're like, man, all this is messed up. I wish I could just take them out. You know, everybody has that secret. I think that's, hopefully it's not just me. I'm not a psychopath, I'm pretty sure. But like, everybody has had that thought, like, these guys are evil. I wish I could just go take them out. You know,
You could,
It
Eric.
makes it completely relatable.
You literally could.
Yeah, that's true, Eric. What you 100% good. There's a phrase that I really like that I think it's kind of reflected in any good story of good and evil, like particularly superheroes and stuff. But it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And I think that's like so true for Jason. It's like
Yes.
he's on the battlefield mentally all the time, you know, and he truly is a warrior, and he wants to make Gotham into the garden where he doesn't have to be a warrior anymore
Wow.
if he doesn't want, if like it's not called for.
Right.
But then in this Outlaws run that I'm reading too, like he's trying to get information on Black Mask, and so he like starts working for him undercover. And when Black Mask is talking about this grand plan to like seize all the power, kind of amalgamate all the different crime sectors into one under his hand, and he's looking over the city talking to Jason, and he's like Gotham is a beautiful woman that's been mistreated and not taken care of properly, and I just want to take care of this city properly. And he's going about it the wrong way. But then Jason has like, they'll have these like text boxes where you can see like what Jason is thinking while he's talking about it. And Jason feels the same way. He's like, yeah, Gotham has been mistreated, and you know, the wrong people have been running it for too long, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in. And it really truly is about like being a warrior when it's called for, and only to make a difference. You know, like he's not doing it for any self-gratification, really. He's not doing it for any kind of like acclaim or anything like that. He's doing it because he genuinely wants to make the world a better place. And I think the thing that makes that so interesting, in the same way that like Superman's a bit different. He doesn't kill people, but he could kill everyone, you know.
Right.
Whereas like Jason isn't that super, so he doesn't have the opportunity to stop things in the way that Superman can sometimes. So he feels that need to cross the line more often, you know? So yeah, I think that sort of perspective that Jason has is really interesting to play around with. And it's one of my favorite parts of his character. And like, as we've gone, like he's grown on me as a character as well. Even though I always liked him, but I think I like truly love Jason's character now, because when you understand those things, you're like you said, I can kind of relate to that. Like there are people in this world, like with all the like Diddy stuff that came out recently, I'm like, if that guy disappeared from the face of the earth, I would not be upset, you
Right.
know? But is it my right or place to like go out of my way to take this person out? No, that wouldn't be
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
in like the Jason mind frame, it's like the world would be a better place without people like that, you know? So yeah, it is a super interesting thing, and like it is something that we can all relate to, where we see these atrocities going on in the world and we want to do something about it. And he's just somebody who's resourceful enough to where he can, and he's willing to cross that line when he needs to.
Yeah. Man.
Okay, there's 2 questions I want to ask before I dip.
I'm still
because
here.
I have to be up at 5. Number 1. I don't know if this has been done somewhere, but what saber do you think Jason would sport?
Oh, that's a great question.
Type that in. I want to hear your answers.
Oh man. So I don't think Jason's been completely corrupted by the dark side.
Right.
And as far as I'm aware, like you make like the saber crystal responds to you, correct? Eric,
Like
you may know that better
yes,
than I
like to
Really?
a degree, yes.
Yes, I think it chooses you, and you can alter the color.
Yeah.
Pouring hate into it makes it stronger, and that's what turns it ultimately red.
The question, everyone, is what color saber Jason would have.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Eric, I wanna hear your perspective because you know more about Star Wars
Yeah,
than
you
I do.
pulled up with the Star Wars lore.
I agreed with Nita a little bit, and so it's possible that this lore of the purple saber was written because it's now in the movie, because I also heard Samuel L. Jackson wanted to stand out on the battlefield and wanted a freaking purple saber. And so they gave him one. But so what was written about it is that he was able to tap into the dark side, and other Jedi have been said to do this, and use some dark powers, tap into the dark side with hate and emotions like that to fight, but not cross the line and not become Sith and really let and become controlled. So he's like Red Hood in that. I mean, the lore there would be like Red Hood. Like, I can tap into this evil, to fight evil, but it doesn't control me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
so
is really a true thing of most combative situations.
Yeah.
Is you have to tap into something really dark inside you to survive in some cases.
Yeah. Yeah, I think by that logic, I do think he'd probably have a purple saber. I mean, it would look cooler if it was red because Red Hood,
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like in terms of his morals and the way he looks at the world, purple makes the most sense. I will say our version of Jason, where he's at right now, maybe you could lean red, but I would still say probably purple because he's not all the way there. He's not like truly a bad guy. He's not truly fueled by hate,
Yeah.
He's fueled by passion and ambition to make the world a better place and genuinely fighting for good. But yeah, blue bleeding to red. Yeah, blue, red makes
Dude,
purple.
this
yeah.
is, somebody said orange, and I was like, I don't really know much about this, but it says orange lightsaber is often associated with individuals who forge their own path, separate from the traditional Jedi or Sith. It symbolizes balance, creativity, and individuality, representing those who embody qualities from both the light and dark sides of the Force.
Might have to go with orange. What is how? Because isn't there like a black saber?
Yeah,
Or am I
the
tripping?
dark saber.
Lightsaber.
Yeah,
I mean, Jason would
How
look so
does-
fire with that.
so sick. How would that? How does that come about?
That's
I don't know. How,
that's like you have to like get ownership by like winning it in duel. No.
yeah, but where did the Kyber crystal come from? Is it, if it is a Kyber crystal? So
I
like,
don't
I
know.
don't
Is
know
it?
the lore of that one. I'm sure someone here knows it.
Anyway, okay.
You have to win it. Okay.
Yeah, you
I
have
think,
to.
I think Jason would 100% want to win that. I
Oh,
think he'd be
yeah,
like,
for
that's
sure.
sick.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
mean,
need it.
I mean, also translating from like the All Blades, like bro's basically there.
So
I
let me
will
ask you
say-
this.
The All Blades also like they're drawn orange a lot of the time, so that's actually kind of interesting to say that he would have an orange saber because the All Blades are colored orange a lot of the time. Sometimes it's different, but like in the Batman versus Super or not Batman versus Superman, Batman slash Superman annual, the 2023, I think. He's like they're all forced to fight each other, and like Batman and Superman are fighting each other, and then he's like fighting Supergirl, Jason is, and they're drawn orange. So that is pretty interesting. But yeah, sorry, Eric, what were you saying?
Well, I might be the only one that cares about this, but I want to know what you want to know or what you think. If Jason Todd, post the Lazarus Pit, had gone to Hogwarts school, what house would he be in?
Oh, that's a great question.
Oh.
Oh man,
I feel like we need to just go on a live one of these days and just like
Yeah.
do these theory stuff. It's so funny.
So I personally have taken the official Hogwarts test 3 times because the first time I got Gryffindor, second time I got Ravenclaw, and third time I got Gryffindor. So I was like, I guess I'm a Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff.
With Cedric Diggory. And then but with Jason, I'm like, all right. He is a man of valor to an extent.
Mhm.
But he's also cunning and resourceful and willing to do things that other people wouldn't be willing to do. And I think that more so is Slytherin. So I do think Jason would probably be a Slytherin because of his like cunning and willingness to use like underhanded tactics, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think like 100% pre Red Hood and everything. I think he just even like I think I agree. Like he would be more on the Slytherin side. Take out the factor of like the evil because just like in what the actual house represents in itself.
Not all
also
Slytherin are
think-
evil. They seek power
Right.
to become all powerful so they can,
Right. And
or
but
is it-
he's also gives so like Ravenclaw. Like if my first thought is Ravenclaw,
Yeah.
but when I think about
He
like
could be a Ravenclaw.
stuff, he just gives like so Ravenclaw to me in terms of like just how he like looks at the bigger picture and makes the proper decisions for the proper logical decisions in situations, not sometimes not particularly going based on emotion and stuff that I think you
Yeah.
would see. And
Well, because Ravenclaw's primary attributes are like wisdom and intelligence, right? But the way that they utilize that, sometimes they don't go as far as Slytherins do.
Right.
But they do make, like you said, like logical decisions that sometimes end up being morally gray. So yeah, I would say I think Ravenclaw is good. I would say probably either Ravenclaw or Slytherin. I know a lot of people don't like the Slytherin choice, but just based on what I know about those houses, that's probably the direction I go. What's up, Romeo?
okay, and then this last question that Anita wanted to ask, since
Okay.
like reading / rereading, is there anything you found out through like rediscovery, going through like since we started, that changed the way you approached your portrayal?
Oh man. So going into the project initially, the first time we filmed it, the only reference I had was the Under the Red Hood movie. And then through the process of like actually reading the comic book material, that's a great movie and it does capture a lot of who Jason is. But there's so many more layers than what you see there. Excuse me. So I think my perspective has changed on like the depth of who he is, and everything, like all of the different emotions that you have to bring to every scene in order to showcase everything that's going on up here, you know? Because he operates like a single-minded person, like somebody who's very like if you were just looking at his life from the outside and analyzing his actions but not his thoughts, you'd be like, for sure, type A, very much locked in on one thing, going after it fully, one track mind. But then when you read the comics and you see all the subtext and the thoughts behind the scenes, you're like, there's a million things going on in his head at any given time. And like sometimes there are things going on in his head that actually like he'll be thinking about it in the middle of a battle and it'll distract him. Like there's a moment whenever he and Artemis end up on this like uh, shipment container where Bizarro is being stored because Black Mask is like he's got Bizarro in his possession, and in the middle of this going on, he's thinking about his first night out as Robin by himself when he like snuck out, didn't go well. He comes back and he's like looking at Nightwing's Robin costume, all like his costume all tattered up and stuff, and he's just looking at it, he's like, shut the hell up. And like it's obviously not talking to him, but he has this whole side quest in his brain filled with emotions that he's being reminded of in that moment. Then he also thinks about his time in the Lazarus Pit and how he can kind of connect to Bizarro whenever Bizarro is released from this chamber that he's in, and he's like gasping for air and like the water's falling away, and he thinks about his time in the pit. And so I think that there are so many more layers to him based on the fact that he does just have a bunch going on in his head all at the same time because he's dealing with a lot of heavy emotions and suppressing them actively 99% of the time. So I think that kind of changed my portrayal of him. He's not as like one track minded as I thought he was. He's far more nuanced than I think people give him credit for.
Yeah, I mean, in kind of what I touched on earlier, I don't like. I'm sure it like has influenced me in some ways, but I also think just like I've taken stuff, whatever, but I have this version of Jason so like written and solidified in my brain that like when I see the stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, that's on track for this Jason, or no, that's not. Like that's not how Red Hood Resurrection Jason would think at all. Like, so I think more so than like taking influence, I see and it makes me think about how this Jason would respond in these situations. And it's without hesitation, I'm pretty able to just decipher as I'm reading through these comics, like that works here. Sometimes I don't even feel like it works there, but it's just like, I just know like, oh yeah, that would be so true. How, I could see David doing this right now if he were in the circumstance, or like it would never happen. So, yeah, I think it's fun. It's fun that this idea is so ingrained in my head now that just like without hesitation, I'm like, I feel like I can understand these characters' thoughts.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
I think what's interesting about where we have Jason is he's kind of like in this in between of what we have seen in the comics. Because you don't get a lot of like this psychological period of Jason, you get a little bit of it, particularly in like Under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still like a more evolved version of Jason than the one that we have in our story. Like our story's fresh out of Lazarus Pit into League of Assassins training. Just got back. This is like right at the end of like what the Lost Days run would be, where he's still not really conflicted on killing bad guys, doesn't want to kill good guys, but he's like, this is what I do. There are numerous moments in that comic run where like Talia affirms the way he's operating, where like she's like she says something about him picking up an old habit or or picking up a new habit or rekindling an old one. He's like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know. It's just weird that, every person I've teamed you up with to train you like comes up missing. And he's like, well, the woman that you teamed me up with to teach me hand to hand was plotting the murder of her entire family. So I took her out. The guy that you set me up with to teach me like marksmanship and stuff, he was running a child like trafficking ring. So I took him out, like, and he goes through like 4 different people that he trained with that she set him up with and gives the reasoning. And she's like, I'm not saying that you were wrong in it. I actually agree with you. I think these people should be put down. And so the version of Jason that we have right now feels to me, and I think that's why I connect to Lost Days so much, or why I like that version of him, is because I feel like that's kind of the version of Jason that we have right now. And he hasn't experienced yet those things that will shift him further towards, the light side, I guess.
Yeah.
He's still as morally gray as you can possibly be. So yeah, I agree with you. I think like reading some of the runs, you can identify like our Jason wouldn't do this because he's not at this point in his journey, kind of thing. But I like the fact that we're capturing this because again, you don't get a lot of like this version of Jason psychologically in any material. Like you get it in Under the Red Hood. That's basically it. You get a little bit throughout the comics, like in flashbacks, but it's mostly like, okay, Jason goes through Lost Days. You see him in this kind of mindset. He comes back, and then the next major run and then you have Under the Red Hood, and then the next major run he's a part of is the Outlaws run that you're reading, where he's not doing the things that he's doing in our series,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think I like the fact that we're
mystical.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I like the fact that we're capturing this version of Jason. That's like a real version of Jason. It's just we haven't really been exposed to it as much in the comics as I think a lot of fans would like. Because I do think when people think about Red Hood, they do think about this morally gray character who's an anti-hero willing to kill bad guys. But for the majority of his runs, that's not the case. Like he wants to, but he's not doing it because he made a promise to Batman or because other people are stopping him or because he feels morally conflicted. So we do get a lot more like he's still brutal, he's still willing to hurt people badly, but most of the versions of Jason that we get in the comics have already been through the whole Batman reuniting and, like that whole experience that kind of shifts him in the direction of good guy again. So,
yeah. Yeah, it's like we've shown, obviously we're limited in what we can show, but like as much like brutality as we show for this Jason, it's like this Jason would also like 100% be the one to be like have frequent conversations with like an elderly neighbor in his like motel complex and like help her bring in her groceries or like just be he wants to do what's right. And like so like obviously we're showing all the important things to push forward the story, but like Jason's wholesome too. Like the root of everything is that he cares. Like that is the whole point. And all of this is he just cares so strongly. So
yeah. What a lovable, relatable character, man. Even as someone who, like, I know these guys appreciate that you're sticking to the comics and the version that they all really care about, but like I don't know anything about that, and I'm connected to this character and who he is. Your writing is so good, and David, your portrayal is so good. It's just so easy to like feel for the guy, but also root him on. You're like, yeah, of course he's angry. Of course he's freaking going to town on these guys. Look what's happened. Look what he's been through. And so, without knowing anything about Red Hood, it's just such an enjoyable story and character.
Yeah. But I'm really excited. I mean, hey Romeo. I'm really excited to complete this first season and first like character arc for him. tie a lot of stuff together, and like really put a bow on what the story that we've been telling. But I'm also super excited for if we're, blessed enough to be able to do it, get into a season 2 and really take him through a different psychological path, um, where we can see a lot of those evolutions taking place, um, and also do it in a way that is going to be so vulnerable and so like nuanced the whole
So
way.
ouchy for the viewer.
Oh, dude. Like I am champing at the bit for us to get into those scenes that you and I have talked about.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, we got to complete this story.
Yeah.
And tell in a way that's truthful and hopefully relatable and maybe a little inspiring. But yeah, I think what we've got going on is super special because this character deserves so much love and the fans deserve so much love. And I'm glad that it's being so well received because
Yeah.
it's always nice to have your work recognized, but especially with a character that I love, being able to tell a story with him truthfully in a way that the fans can appreciate. Like that makes my heart swell.
Yeah. Well, everyone tune in because in about 2 months you're gonna see Red Hood once again.
Oh, yeah.
And it's gonna be incredible. Um,
And in about 2 weeks, we're going to be posting a little bit of
yeah, we're gonna be
behind-the-scenes
on
stuff, I think,
set,
as we
and it's
go.
gonna be
Oh
incredible.
no! Before you say goodbye to everyone, there's something that I'm conveying that I think I feel very strongly about, and others do. Someone asked if I was going to have a cameo. I was already in it. Episode 1.
Bro, Eric's been
Very-
in every episode. What do you mean?
But as
Yeah.
Minus
as a
episode
cameo,
5.
you see my face. Yeah, that was in episode 1, so I can't be in anymore. Just go back and watch the end. But
Maybe we'll do a
We-
spin-off on the lore of the League of Assassin member.
the guy, the headless stick fighter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I require a mustache for this. But what I need to convey, and I feel very strongly about it, and others do too, is that Noah, you need to be in an episode.
I will be in there in some format in the finale.
Okay, like
Oh.
recognizable, a full cameo because everyone wants it. Everyone.
I'm certainly sneaking myself in there in the finale. But
Good.
in terms of
Good.
like it being my face, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm just
we
not ready to
almost
unleash
had-
the world with that yet. So
Yeah, we almost had Noah in episode 3, but then Jacob stepped in instead.
it's true. I was about
Yeah,
to be
when
the other goon
The two
at the door.
goons that are at the
Oh.
door before I enter. He was going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Ladies.
I'll figure it out sometime. But yeah, no, I'm so excited to be back on set. It's crazy that it's coming up so soon. I gotta lock in and
Oh, it's gonna be
finish
so much
everything.
fun.
But everyone, you'll just be sat because the promotional photos that are going to be dropping, you're not ready for.
Yeah, he
So-
had me do what is that called, a boudoir? shoot?
Yeah. I was trying to practice something new.
I always thought you looked good in lace.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Just
was
the leather
uncomfortable, but-
jacket.
Yeah. I felt more free than I ever have before, though. Weirdly.
I wanted to
because,
empower
like,
David.
Yeah, Noah is so supportive, and he really stretches you beyond your normal means.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go to sleep.
Oh
I have
my
to be
God.
up in about 5 hours. So, dude, I'm glad we could do this. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to, after we film, to be able to talk about that experience. It's going to be so sick.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. Definitely
This
recording
person
way
wants
more
me to do the
BTS.
ladies meme. Yes, way more BTS this next time around. Ladies, one at a time. I'm trying to do my word type shave. That's what they wanted.
That's great.
Eric, give him a ladies before we sign off.
I don't know how to do that.
It's just ladies.
One hand, two hands, kind of point.
Yeah, however you want.
Point. Ladies.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Noah, you're up.
Lady. Oh, I feel like I got a point now.
That was good.
What is the full thing?
He goes, ladies, one at a time. Trying to do my work type shit.
Bro, what is this? I'm so not. I feel like I'm missing out on.
Leave me
the whole
alone. Leave me alone.
That is.
meme. Okay. Ladies, one at a time, simmer down.
Yeah.
Type shit.
There it is. Type
Cool.
shit.
That felt well thought out.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it. That was my cameo. I'm gonna do that exact thing in the episode. Anyway,
Looney, thank you for single-handedly promoting my channel and
Yeah.
half the followers over there. Seriously, like every other message is you can watch us on YouTube, but have you followed Eric?
yeah.
Every-
Eric is literally 5 followers away from 500, so go
Let's
follow
go.
right now. We've blessed you with some great entertainment for the night, so you can return the favor. And also, check out the perks in the Indiegogo. We're above our funding goal, but it all goes to help continue making more stuff. So, good night, everyone. It's been real. We'll see you next time. We definitely need to go on live again and just break down what we think all these characters would be in that format. That's so fun. So,
Yes.
all right,
Right.
gentlemen, have a great night.
Love you, Pookie.
Love you. Goodbye.